every time I'm about to start, there's like sirens, or there's a loud vehicle, or a loud truck going by. It's always a fun time and never boring when you're on my channel, right? Hi, everyone. How is everyone doing? Good evening. Hello. How are you guys? How is everyone doing? I hope you all had a chance to pour yourself a nice beverage, a beverage of any sorts that you would like, and get to hang out with me for a little bit. I'm not going to be too long because I know it's late for some people. Good evening from Saskatchewan. Hello. Hi, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for thinking about Monster. To be honest, you guys, I without even taking him to his appointment yet, like I'm already bracing myself for the worst, just seeing the way that he collapses on his leg. And I'm just guessing like, okay, I'm gonna have to get the other leg like operated on or something. Like there's something definitely going on here. Let me show you. I took a quick video of him earlier. I don't know what is going on with X, but let me show you here. Like you see, this was earlier. He's trying to stand and he can barely keep his weight on because the right leg just was operated on. It hasn't even been a month really. And now this one, he can barely stand on it. So it was crazy. Like he was just walking in the living room, and then suddenly I saw him collapse, like his back legs just give out. And now he's having a difficult time. So I have a scarf that I've been using to assist him. And you know what's crazy is that let me show you this, because with his other leg, at least when it happened, he he was still like limping around. Let me show you here. He's pretty quiet, but he was like limping around at least. Here, let me see if you guys can see it. Oh, I haven't even shown it to you guys. Silly me. Hold on. Let me show you here. Share screen. Let me pull it up here. There we go. Let me show you. Like I'm trying to get him to walk. See, like he would limp at least before, whereas now he won't even limp at all. He just drops right down. Let me play it from here again. See? So yeah, like I'm one of those people where I'm not gonna like fool myself into thinking like, oh, he's only just sprained it. He's just hurt himself. No, I'm already like gearing myself up for the worst news that his other leg has given out and he needs to have surgery. So I've already braced myself about that. And like I said, I'm using a scarf to assist him and I'll carry him most of the time. But I was looking at like a little wheelchair thing, and I found like one that I can work with just as an emergency unit off of Amazon that has been getting like really good reviews and is only like about, I think, $160 it was. So I think I'm gonna order that for him just so he can feel some relief and at least run around the house, because he's just been laying around and I feel bad for him. So, yeah, Susan, you're right. He needs to heal from the surgery. So, he definitely needs a scooter or a wheelchair. I have been like filling up the bathtub and helping him, but the doctor hasn't, like, until I take him for his 3-month checkup, they've given me a list of like what I need to do to help him daily to help work his muscles. But until when I take him this week, hopefully we'll figure out something soon. But yeah, that's a little monster update. Like what Either it's my little one or it's my furry one who always keeps me on my toes. It's never a dull moment around here. But I wanted to jump on here and talk to you guys really quick about this nonsense about Harry and Meghan being upset and embarrassed about their recent tour, well, their circus freak show, let's be honest. And I thought I was going to make a video, but then I was like, no, I want to get on here and interact with you guys a little bit. It'll take my mind off of things, to be honest, just to talk with you guys a little bit. A low calorie diet. Monster is already small too. Like he doesn't eat much, and he eats kangaroo. I mean, my little one does sneak a little bits of treats for him here, but yeah, I did watch the TRG video and I do have my thoughts on that because remember that gentleman that came out who said that he was Meghan Markle's first kiss when she was 13? His name was Joshua Silverstein or something like that. Let me pull it up real quick and then I'll get into what I'm going to talk about tonight. Let me look here. Joshua Silverstein. Meghan Markle, yeah. And then he claimed that he had given Markle her first kiss when she was 13 at a summer camp or something like that. And then when we looked up when this gentleman was born, because he said they're the same age, his date of birth was 1977, was it not? Yeah, she said they were both 13 and he was born in 77. So I think TRG has kicked up a hornet's nest here, but honestly, like I wish her all the best and like she is incredible at what she does. Like I think I'm pretty surface with my Meghan Markle stuff and what I talk about, but she is a super sleuth and it's amazing. Like the information that she can dig up. And it's right there in plain sight, basically. Like it's not hidden. It's right there in plain sight. If she can dig it up, then like how can not like MI5 or MI6 or other people not know about this already? But yeah, so this guy was talking about how, yeah, like he talked about how he and here, actor Joshua Silverstein, who says he gave Markle her first kiss at the age of 13 and dated her for a summer, was impressed by Markle's hotly debated interview alongside Prince Harry. Remember, she always gets these nerds to come out and put out like something great about her. You know, during the Colombia trip, some rando came out and said, "Oh, I was in Meghan's salsa class." And then the next day, her and Harry did some salsa dancing nonsense. But clearly, anyone who has danced salsa knows that what Meghan Markle was doing was definitely not salsa. Yeah. I mean, let me just say that the royal family knew who this girl was. And because Harry is great at throwing temper tantrums to get what he wants when he wants, and that's how they've always dealt with him by giving him what he wants, I feel like they knew all the red flags were there. They knew this was going to be a headache and complete nutso. All the signs were there, but yet they gave in to Harry like they always do, and it's been just a disaster after a disaster for the royal family. That's how I feel. There's a reason why I've been calling her 47 all this time. There's a reason why. There's a reason why, my friends. Hi, everyone. So glad you guys are here. Our boy Eli, thank you. You say, love your work, Molly. Sending love from Melbourne, Australia. Well, thank you for being here and thank you for that. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you guys being here. This was very impromptu. I was sitting here working on the video and then I was like, nah, let me just do it alive real quick because she was just shaking her ass. Yes, whatever ass there was there. Yeah, it wasn't salsa, that's for sure. What the hell happened to her? She looks 70 and not exaggerating. That's what happens when you live a toxic life, when you're constantly greedy, when you're constantly counting other people's pockets, when you're constantly trying to ruin other people's lives. That evilness and that toxicity starts seeping out and starts showing on your skin. It doesn't help that she looks very thin too. I know she's doing that to try and push this whole like Diana eating disorder, stressed out because of Harry being an alleged drug addict and stuff like that. That's what she's doing. She's setting it up to throw Harry under the bus and say that she's stressed out. She's always planning something. Can you imagine how stressful your life has got to be if you're constantly planning, constantly like trying to ruin other people's lives and trying to be evil all the time? It's horrible. This girl, this woman, this trollop, pardon me, really had it made. She really, really had it made when she married into the royal family, and she just couldn't hack being a good person because you know why? She's not a good person. We see with Catherine, she doesn't need to fake it. If you're a genuinely good person, you don't need to pretend like you're a good person. You don't need to constantly put out stories in the media claiming that you're an awesome and compassionate, caring humanitarian when all your actions say otherwise. But I really wanted to just touch on this whole Harry and Meghan being upset and embarrassed. I honestly don't think that these two know what it means to be embarrassed. We knew that this was going to happen to Harry and Meghan. We knew that there was going to be a torrent of backlash from the media outlets in Colombia and other publications, just wondering what the heck was the reason for Harry and Meghan to receive an ultra luxurious Colombia taxpayer funded vacation. Besides the Colombian VP being a fangirl, I don't know if she's a fan anymore after Meghan was seen thrusting her pelvis all over her partner and touching her, rubbing his back and stroking it. Yeah, you don't need to hire people to say it. You don't need people to constantly come out and say, "Oh, you are so great to work with. You're so amazing." Like, if it's genuine, we can see it. The people aren't dumb, and that's the issue with Meghan Markle. She's trying to portray this character of herself of being such a nice and caring individual. She thinks going around and hugging children, forcing them to hug her and curtsy to her, will make her likable. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Lisa, like I wonder, can a narcissist even be embarrassed? That's what I've wondered. We were literally told, guys, the days leading up to this ridiculous clown show in Colombia, we were told that this trip would be such a success, it would confirm their status as alternate royal family in America, right? We were told that they were gonna do so well that the royal family are gonna welcome them back. Some people were saying that Harry and Meghan, well, the royals should be worried about Harry and Meghan and the reception that they were receive. And then we see what went on. We see what went on for 4 days. We saw that for 4 days, it was all about Meghan showing off her long feet, ugh, in some of the worst shoes ever. I don't know how she always buys the ugliest sandals that make those already gnarly looking Sasquatch feet even bigger than they are. How is that possible? How? I mean, I think I posted something on X about that. Let me just pull it up really quickly because I think it's pretty funny. And then there were some memes that followed, but if I had ridiculously long feet, and I know some people have big feet, but it just looks odd on Meghan because she is short. She has those spindly little ankles. She's got chicken feet, and then she's got these super long, gnarly looking toes. And it made me wonder, like, look at this. It made me wonder. Now, trigger warning, guys. I'm warning you, okay? Trigger warning. What are those? What are those? And it looks like her and Harry share the same foot size. Could you imagine the smell? Get that short. I mean, I know some women have big feet, okay, but these are just, she wears shoes that makes them look even longer and flatter. I should stop. Poor girl. She can't help her feet. She can't help those flippers. But I wonder, you know what though? I'll say one nice thing about Meghan Markle. I bet you with those huge long flippers, if she was to become a swimmer, she'd be quite fast. You know how fast she could swim with those things? Flop, 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 flop. Her feet look like surfboards. Oh dear Lord, those sandals. Now, okay, there's a lot of ladies in the chat. What do you guys think of kitten heels? Like that little heel Meghan was wearing. I'm not a fan of kitten heels. It's either wear like a little bit of a bigger heel or don't wear them at all. But a kitten heel, nah, not my thing. Olympic speed. She'd be an Olympic champion at swimming. Could you imagine those flippers? One stroke of one foot and she'd be halfway through the pool already, just taken off. So Harry and Meghan feel embarrassed over the tour. And you know what? They should. So let me read you this part of this article because we were supposed to, I mean, the royal family were supposed to be worried, right? Ooh, they were all shaking in their boots. Ooh, Harry and Meghan were supposed to show them up in this royal tour and welcome them back. Oh, Harry, Meghan, come back and save us. Grace us with your presence. Yeah, it didn't happen. So let me read this article for you because there are a ton of articles that are just like ripping them in a new one and not even sugarcoating it anymore. They're calling them out. Finally, to be honest, I'm glad that they have been. I like kitten heel, just not on her. I think a kitten heel would look good on someone like Catherine because she has those shapely legs and she's tall. I think it would look good. Not a kitten heel thong sandal. Yeah, I'm not a big thong sandal kitten heel person. I don't know, it's weird. She always ends up getting the weirdest clothing. I don't know why. Terrible. So let me read some of this article to you, but I will include all of the links in the description box below of this video for you guys if you want to go and read the entire article. But I just wanted to pick up on just these couple of points because it just really upset me because it took me back to when Meghan Markle dressed up like a human blood clot in Harlem and she took advantage of those children. And what Harry and Meghan are doing is basically they're going to these places where these children are basically living in poverty and making false promises to them. And it's not the first time. This isn't the first time that they have done that. So Harry and Meghan, when they agreed to do a tour of Colombia, they were hoping that the success of it would help confirm their status as the world's alternative royal family. Like, that just shows how delusional they are. However, the 4-day trip didn't exactly create the reception they wanted, and instead, there was a huge backlash against their visit, as well as being accused of costing the poverty stricken country £1.5 million in security alone. So, you know what I was thinking here? That was £1.5 million is about equivalent to million US. I think 1.92 million US. And that was just for security alone. Did the Colombian government, I heard that they were paying for their accommodations also. So Harry and Meghan travel around with a huge team. They had their bodyguards who also needed accommodation. So how much was all of that, especially when Harry and Meghan had to tell us that they were staying in the presidential suite, which costs like what, $2,800 a night? And that was for 4 nights plus accommodation for all of their staff. What do you need? An extra 2, 3 rooms for them? So the cost of this to the taxpayer is a lot more than this $1.5 million that we're only finding out about. And this was in a country like Colombia. Harry and Meghan should feel embarrassed because they just can't keep their mouth shut. So they came out and had to tell us, oh, we donated a set of drums and we will be donating cash later. I bet you that cash will never be sent. A lot of people in Nigeria were asking why they're doing this. I mean, in Colombia and in Nigeria. This Colombia tour came 3 months after their visit to Nigeria, and even commentators there were wondering why they were doing that. We all know why they're doing it. Sadly, these people who live in these poverty-stricken areas who think that they might actually receive some kind of assistance, it's like they get hoodwinked. They get swindled. It's I mean, for Meghan is very high maintenance. It's not her fault. I see you're back, Johnny Utah. I hope you're having a swell evening. Um, Meghan has only become high maintenance since the royal family because she has access to those types of things. That's it. Before that, she didn't have access to private jets and stuff. Well, through Jessica Mulrooney and them, but now not on this level. So listen to this. So Harry and Meghan are receiving a ton of backlash, and rightly so. So a Colombian official, and Andres Escobar, who claims they were only invited by the country's vice president, Francia Marquez, because she saw them on Netflix, he said it's unfair on all Colombians that they have to pay so much money to have Harry and Meghan visit. He's right. It's not fair to them. He says that there are many Colombians who are hungry and have a lack of basic needs. They invested this money because the vice president wanted to meet 2 high-profile public figures and brush aside criticism and problems that we have here. We are in an economic crisis, and 8 billion pesos, which is the 1.5 million pounds or 2 million US dollars, has been spent for the visit of Harry and Meghan. Colombian military planes and helicopters have been used, and the money could have been better spent. See, the thing that makes me so angry is that this money could have been spent for building a couple schools for these children, or buying shoes for them, or paying for their meals for an entire year. I said this last night on my live with Andrew. Especially when you're going there and you're flaunting over like $120,000 in jewelry and more than $25,000 in clothing and stuff in the faces of these people in 4 days. If Harry had a single brain cell in his head, or if anyone on Harry's team is listening, if they had any sort of decency, if they want to get over this bad PR, cut the Colombian taxpayers a check for $1.5 million. Pay back your cost of security. Because if you can flaunt that much money worth of clothing and jewelry in the faces of these children, you can pay for your own security. You can pay for your own accommodation. You can pay for your own, pay your own way. They donated drums. It's insulting and it's very racist in my opinion, Susan. It is very racist. I mean, these children are going to be hungry and, well, guess what? They got drums, guys. They got drums. They can bang on their drums and think of Harry and Meghan to drown out the sounds of their growling bellies because they couldn't eat anything in the morning because they had to come to school. That's what they can do. It's so gross to me how they use these children and exploit them to make it seem like they are showing up and doing good, as they like to claim. My apologies. I had to drink some water here. Yeah, how generous. No one can eat drums. Exactly, right? Pay back the 32 million since it was such a spectacle. Yeah, and I'm not going to get into that huge rant about how the royal family were wrong to even give a wedding of that extent to Harry and Meghan. That's a whole nother rant for another day. But like this is what Harry and Meghan do. They go around to these countries that are in poverty and they make it seem that they are doing so much by just giving them the bare minimum, even if that. They could have even, if you even showed up and Harry and Meghan handed them a check for even $25,000, that would have at least done something. But no, you didn't do anything. But you definitely made sure you showed off your ugly outfits and hideous jewels off and basically rubbed it in the faces of these poor children. It was so gross. She respects a nobody's man. Yeah, she doesn't do that. But she just shows how classless she is, how gutter she is, how bottom of the barrel she is. And it makes you appreciate William and Catherine a lot more. It does make you appreciate good manners. Watching Harry and Meghan think that this is her idea of being classy. This is her idea of how a royal is supposed to behave. Is this her idea of modernizing the monarchy? By treating your husband like trash, putting him in the corner of a table by himself, with a man translating to him what is going on, and you're sitting there with the vice president and her partner and another gentleman laughing it up with them. Meghan couldn't even allow Harry to sit beside the vice president for one event. He was constantly stuck in the corner. He was laughed at. He was made fun of. You think before Meghan Markle, Harry has ever been booed as much as he has has in his life or has had jokes cracked at his expense in the way that it was in Colombia recently. Yeah, she was pretending to, like, understand what they were saying, like, just with a stupid grin on her face and, like, bobbing her head up and down. Well, the vice president's man is a playboy apparently too, who was a delivery driver who met the vice president and bingo bango, you know what happens next, right? It is absolutely gross to me that this 4-day trip cost that much money, but that was just for security alone. We don't know how much it cost for their accommodation, their food, who paid for their flights over. We don't know any of that. And that could definitely skyrocket the price. Now, as I said before, this isn't the first time Harry and Meghan have done this. And these two delusional morons from Montecito deserve to be embarrassed and ashamed for their latest grift off of a third world country. But to be honest, I don't know if Harry and Meghan know how to feel embarrassment because I feel like you got to care about people, and Harry and Meghan only care about themselves. They don't care about anyone, which is why they don't feel embarrassment. They don't feel ashamed for their actions. They don't care who they're hurting. If Harry and Meghan felt ashamed or embarrassed for using and exploiting children who are in horrible financial situations like living in poverty, they would have been embarrassed that time when they promised children in Harlem a washer and dryer and they have yet to get it. Harry and Meghan went to a school in Harlem back in September of 2021. This was when we were all in lockdown. This was when nobody could go to school with their children. Nobody could walk into their classrooms. And yet Harry and Meghan were gallivanting and flying around and touching other people's children constantly. Now, you guys remember when they showed up in Harlem here and Meghan read the stench to them? Meghan Markle was dressed up like a human blood clot that day. A human blood clot. And let me tell you, they went, this school that they went to visit, it was PS 123 Mahalia Jackson School. And this school also serves as a shelter for families without permanent homes. And according to the NYC Department of Education data at the time, so in 2021, an estimated 95% of the students at that public school fall on the economic need index. And according to the Public School Review, 94% of the students who attend that school receive free meals. And this self proclaimed humanitarian, who was nothing but a cheap, vulgar trollop, showed up in a fleet of blacked out luxury Cadillac SUVs. Remember, this is Harlem. This is like what they would call, I don't want to be rude or anything, but this is what they would call the ghetto. Meghan shows up in a fleet of blacked out luxury Cadillac SUVs looking like a human blood clot in a $5,840 Loro Piana cashmere coat and with the matching pants, which cost $1,680, and her heels cost $895. And just to make sure she rubbed her wealth into the faces of those poor children, just to make sure that they really got the idea that she has money, she wore over $300,000 worth of jewelry. And of course, this gaudy charlatan had her sleeves rolled up so she could show off all the gold and diamonds that she can now afford, all thanks to the royal family, in the faces of these young children. And you know what, guys? They have yet to receive a washer and dryer. They never received a washer and dryer. And how much is a washer and dryer set? You can buy like a set together. I looked it up. I think it's about $3,500. And she couldn't bother to get that washer and dryer for these children. This raggedy trollop who likes to call herself a humanitarian, a fighter for women and girls. We like to show up and do good. Well, what are you doing? Reading your terrible book, The Stench, to a bunch of children who are mostly brought up in a single parent home, who most of them don't even have a father around. You're reading them a book about the love between a father and a son. You clueless idiot. I like this. She claims to be smart, right? She claims that she is a bright individual, but yet she can't get the basics right. She collected $5 from each of these children. And if you guys remember, I posted this today up on my, Meghan Markle's feet. I forgot to close that screen. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. My eyes. My eyes started watering. Pardon me. I forgot to minimize the screen and I swapped tabs, and all of a sudden Meghan Markle's big feet were in front of my face. Oy, caramba. So if you remember, after that visit, a mother from that school had uploaded a video. I have that video for you guys because it was promptly removed off of YouTube, but I have receipts. So let me play this for you here.
Yo, check this out. This girl right here told my daughter in Harlem, New York, when they visited with the gingerhead husband, she told her that she was a princess. Say what? Princess? I don't know any other princesses unless Princess Diana came back from the dead. You know what I'm saying? Try to come over here and trying to record our children. Tell them to when to scream, when to hug you, and dropping off 2 boxes of rotten tomatoes.
So did you hear? She was telling the children in Harlem that she was a princess. Remember I told you guys she was telling the children in Colombia she's a princess? She told the children in Nigeria she's a princess. Like, what a wackadoodle. Imagine 47 years old needing to go around in these poor places and brag to these children, I'm a princess. Let me continue on here.
Dropping off 2 boxes of rice, trying to record our children. Tell them to when to scream, when to hug you, and dropping off 2 boxes of rotten tomatoes. Authentic, my ass, bitch. Erica, don't fucking come back. Tell my daughter you was a princess. You ain't no fucking princess. You and your dog that's on a leash, bitch. We don't.
It cut out here. This wasn't like the greatest version, but at least I caught a version of it before it got wiped. And then she lights a magazine with Meghan Markle's face on fire. So I don't know if she was saying some voodoo or something.
We wanted to thank you from Harlem. Thank you from Harlem. We, the parents, thank you for recording our children without our permission. Thank you.
Crazy, huh? Isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy? Well, if you guys want, this could go viral if I clip it and I post it again. We'll see. Or you guys can like this video, this live, and I'll keep it short. But I just wanted to jump on here and remind you guys that these two do not feel any kind of embarrassment. These two go around to poverty-stricken countries, stick them with a massive tax bill. They don't, like, these countries see no benefit of Harry and Meghan. Like I said last night on my live, this whole Colombia trip reminds me of when Meghan Markle hoodwinked and swindled a trip to Malta from the Maltese government. You remember that? She claimed that she was Maltese and she was going there to find out more about her heritage, and that she wanted to learn more about herself. This reminds me of the same thing, but just on a bigger scale now. She said that she was gonna write on the TIG about her trip, and that was supposed to help increase tourism to Malta. And what did she do? She did the same thing. She took a fashion photographer with her, and she got a free trip to Malta, and she posted her fashion shots, and that's it. The Maltese government were pissed. And this is now just on a bigger scale. She's a complete fraud. She said it before. She's going around the world grifting off of these poor countries because they think that Harry and Meghan will do something for them. Good night, Johnny. Tell Meghan I say hello and tell her to wash her feet. They're dirty. You guys, thank you so much for the super stickers that you're sending in and the super chats. Our boy Eli, oh, I read that one earlier. And Lisa Jean Williams, she says, love and respect from Niagara. Your voice and message from the igloo is powerful and appreciated. I really had to power up the igloo tonight for this. It's been stormy and gross still since yesterday. Doesn't feel like we've had a proper summer. I wish, like, I know some of you guys are still having a heat wave, and I'm sitting here with a fireplace on. It's crazy. Yvette Moore says, the kitten heel always reminds me of court jesters or leprechauns. I've tried to like them, but I just can't do it. I can't do it either. Give me a nice, like, tall heel, but a kitten heel makes me feel like I'm gonna roll my ankle for some reason. And let me be honest, the kitten heel reminds me of, remember the penguin from Batman? Every time I see someone wearing the kitten heel, no offense to anyone, it reminds me of the penguin from Batman. I don't know why, it just does. Okay, I just totally went left as I always do. I always go left. It's terrible, which I shouldn't do because I want to keep this short and it's already 40 minutes. How am I already talking for 40 minutes? How does this happen? I always aim to do it like 20, 25 minutes and I keep going over. Okay, let me be this quick so I can wrap it up. So basically, Harry and Meghan, let me show you. When they went to the school in Harlem, this is what they did. So while the Sussexes' visit to the school was a lighthearted and brief, their impact on the students won't end with the reading. Because remember, Meghan read The Stench on the Bench to them, and Harry showed them all his underwear and pushed one of the girls who I think he was like tickling or something happened, but ended up pushing her and got a bit aggressive with her. I think we all remember that. So Harry and Meghan donated a garden boxes filled with vegetables and herbs. And as we found out, it was moldy. So moldy tomatoes, moldy fruits, and most of the items could not be used. So, and also what they did is that Archwell worked with Procter & Gamble to stock PS 123's pantry with free health and hygiene products for the families of the students. So basically, Procter & Gamble, which already is like a huge Like, they own Tampax and all of those brands. All of those feminine hygiene brands fall under the Procter and Gamble umbrella. They could easily donate a whole freaking pallet of it, and it wouldn't even, like, they don't even care. It wouldn't be nothing to them. But they just filled a pantry, right? And that was just one time. Because, girls get their periods more than just one time. But they always do the bare minimum and expect the most, like, rewards and accolades. And then this is what pissed me off the most. They went to this school and they promised this school a washer and dryer. Look, the couple will donate a washing machine and dryer for school uniforms. And guess what? That never happened. It is now August 2024. They went to that school back in September 2021. You're trying to tell me you couldn't have scraped a couple $1,000s to send this school a poor, like, freaking washer and dryer? Procter and Gamble couldn't do it. They could have easily done it in their sleep. All of Meghan Markle is really showing us how corrupt and how gross all of these companies are, and how really she is just out to use everyone. When I thought that Amber Heard was a garbage human being, like, I absolutely despise Amber Heard. When I thought that she was a garbage human being for lying about her donation to the children's hospital, I'm sorry, Harry and Meghan take the cake from Amber Heard. Because Amber Heard lied about the children's hospital. That's one, like, major lie about a big donation, right? But Harry and Meghan are traveling constantly to these impoverished areas, making fake donations, pretending that they're going to help out and give these people a chance or send them what they need. And guess what? Never happens. Never happens. But yet she will dine out on those accolades for years on end. She's 47 years old, and we have yet to stop hearing about the 11-year-old soap story that never happened. Archibald needs to be investigated, and I'm sure that in due time, everything that is supposed to happen will definitely happen. But as I said before, I don't think Harry and Meghan know what embarrassment is. I don't know what it is until something like financial has to happen to them. In a way, I feel like Harry and Meghan don't care enough for others to feel embarrassed or ashamed for their actions, even, because they are literally taking food out of the mouths of people who desperately need it. And these are two that have money. They're living in one of the most expensive zip codes. Megan's going around and flaunting like $5,000 hats and fugly jewelry that I could find better pieces on Temu for $1. Yes, they might change color, but you know what? For 4 days that you're going, it's fine. You can do fine. And let's be honest, real humanitarians come up with a long-term plan that is sustainable to help people, like how Catherine is doing with her early years childhood foundation and her learnings about that. She's been doing it for over 10 years. Just look at William and what he's doing with his homelessness thing. I will give Charles the credit for his gardening and opening people's eyes out to growing your own fruit and vegetables more. I get it. But really, at this point, it's like, just throw all the titles into abeyance, take these degenerates out of the line of succession, because really, at the end of the day, Harry and Meghan are only charitable to themselves. They aren't humanitarians. They're nothing but leeches sucking and living off of other people. They don't care about anyone other than themselves. And I should say, well, I should really say, Harry and Meghan don't really care about anyone other than just Meghan. Harry has to only care about what Meghan wants and what Meghan needs, just like he said. And often these days, I wonder if Harry regrets those words. Does he regret saying what Meghan wants, Meghan gets? I feel like the public are sick and tired and they just want to see the king do something. I was on Steph the Alter Nerd's channel the other night, and I'm going to finish off with this. And I asked Steph, I said, Steph, when Harry and Meghan were removed off of the website, because a lot of people are saying, oh, the king is afraid of the backlash he's going to face if he strips Harry and Meghan of their titles, if he does anything. The king is afraid of the backlash. And I asked her, I said, Steph, when Harry and Meghan were removed off of the royal website for that short 30 minutes, everyone was happy. I was like, "How did you feel?" She was like, "Oh, I celebrated. I was happy." Everyone was. Everyone's reaction was the same. So I don't understand why the king would be so worried, or if this is just some BS narrative being put out just to make him appear weak. But everyone was happy that this had happened. And then when we saw that they were back on the website, everyone was like, "Oh, what the hell?" People just want to see something happen. Like Harry and Meghan have just been running wild, dumping on the royal family, trashing their names, calling them racists, and yet still trading off the title, still getting all the perks, still doing what they want. They are living their half in, half out dreams that they wanted. And I feel bad. I said it last night too on the live with POV. I feel bad for William if this mess is being left for him to deal with. Because who knows if the king will live another 5, 10 years? Does that mean that this is just going to be allowed to happen and to go on for 5, 10 years? People are getting tired of the monarchy, and you can see people's reactions to it. They're starting to slowly turn their back against it. I've never seen this happen before. People are losing their faith in the monarchy, and it's just like, if it goes this way, then when will William even have a reign? Then in that way, that's what Harry and Meghan wanted, right? They didn't want William to become king. And it's like they're doing whatever they can to destroy the royal family's reputation. And we know that there is a government in the UK in charge that don't really like the royal family and would love to see them gone. I feel like there's a bunch of bad actors that want the royal family gone. I would hate to see that ever happen. But anyways, guys, 53 minutes. I like right before I jumped on, I was like, okay, Mole, 25 minutes, 32 minutes, the longest. I've gone over by 23 minutes too much. I feel like CFT says, hi, Molly. Do you think the late queen would have shut it down if all this nonsense had she not died and was healthy? To be honest, CFT, I don't know if I'm alone on this, but I feel like Harry and Meghan were already given too much when they were allowed to step back and have a 1 year grace period to find themselves. And I feel like in 2020, when they decided that they didn't want to come back, they did their Oprah interview, they showed their true colors at that point. The axe should have dropped at that point. The queen should have put the titles into abeyance at that point. They should have put all the like, you don't get the perks anymore if this is what you want to do. I just hope that something happens. The people just want to see the reaction. They just want to see something. I just hope that the king remembers, like, the public were so happy when Harry and Meghan were removed off the website. It was like, finally, Finally, you're doing something positive. But I'm not a royal. I don't know what Charles is thinking. I don't know what he's doing. I just People are just sick and tired of it. And I feel like them going around Harry and Meghan, yes, they're doing a good job of ruining their own reputation and showing people that they are not the humanitarians they claim to be. Good night, guys. I know a lot of you guys are starting to go to bed. I'm going to be wrapping this up in 5 minutes here, but I know, I know that Harry and Meghan are trying to claim to be humanitarians, but really they're just showing us that they're nothing but a dog and pony show. They're showing us that they have no idea of the concept of being royals. It's about other people. It's not about showing up and flaunting off your wealth in these impoverished countries. They're doing a good job of showing themselves up to be as frauds, but it would just be nice, and I hope and pray, and maybe let me just cross my hands here. I hope and pray that we wake up tomorrow and we see, well, maybe not tomorrow. How about within the next month? I hope and pray that within the next month, we wake up and see that Harry, Meghan, Harry, Prince Archie of Sussex, or whatever the heck they want to call him, and Elizabeth are taken off of the line of succession, and that someone has brought their pen down and finally just said, you are, for now, as long as you're not a part of the royal family, you want to be a private citizen, you can be Harry Mountbatten Windsor, you can be Rachel Ragland, and you guys are the Invisikids. But I think the public just want to see some sort of reaction, some sort of something happen for all of these bad behavior. I think people are just getting sick and tired of seeing people getting away with being bad all the time. They should be exiled to Chunga Changa, that's what. I feel like Harry and Meghan we should ask Elon. Since Harry and Meghan want to constantly be private citizens, can we just ask Elon to stick them on their next rocket ship? Just blast them off to the moon. They can float out in somewhere within the galaxy or somewhere within Orion's belt or something. They can just float around in space. Why not send them off to the space station where those other astronauts are stuck? Then we'll never have to hear from them again and they can stay up there forever. Anyways, but I think all of this backlash that Harry and Meghan are receiving from their faux Colombian circus tour, they deserve it. They rightfully deserve it. They have no right going to these impoverished countries and promising them washer and dryers or to send them money or to give them gifts. Like, you go to these places, you should be going with your hands full. You should have had like 6 money orders or something made out to them that they can cash right on the spot. But no, it was all about Meghan Markle, her gnarly feet, her cuckold husband, and her gyrating her pelvis all over the VP's partner. It almost makes you wonder if never mind, I better not say it. I know they want to distract us from what's going on behind closed doors, which is censoring the media, bringing in digital recognition, like facial ID. I know all of that is going on. But I feel like we just need to keep an eye on everything and just talk about everything. I love that TRG is definitely exposing them for what's going on. And she truly is one of the best ones to do it because she explains everything so well. I feel like I could never measure up to TRG or anything like that. And yes, I do watch her videos, guys. So I know you guys were messaging me, have you seen her video? Yes, I'm subscribed. I see her videos. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get going here, but I just wanted to jump out here, and I hope that there is more backlash towards Harry and Meghan. I hope that that none of these countries invite them anymore. I don't want anyone like inviting these two losers to their countries, because really they are not doing anything for these people. They are not at all helping them in any way. All they're doing is just costing them money everywhere they go. And it's not fair to these people that live in poverty already. $900 for a pair, you know, those ugly kitten heel shoes? Nearly $900 for those. You know how many outfits you could have bought, or how many lunches or meals you could have provided for that, for just that shoe to the children there? Anyways, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I hope Harry and Meghan get all the backlash and more, and I hope it gets worse, because they definitely deserve it. These two are not humanitarians. And let me just be honest, Bill Simmons said it best when he called them lazy fucking grifters. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me here. I hope I didn't keep you too long, and I'm sorry that it was an hour. My apologies, but I will throw all the links in the description box below for you guys to check out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, my friends. Have a good sleep, and to all my friends in Australia, I hope you all have a good afternoon. Bye.